few weeks ago, I was sent a vague attachment from an enigmatic character via a DM. Inside this attachment laid this image: the Gupmad Iceberg. I knew right away that I had to uncover its secrets, the mysteries of Gupmad's quiet town, vast underground, and curious nooks will all be uncovered in this complete breakdown of the Gupmad Iceberg. The Big House, not racist. This entry refers to the main home of Gupmad, a large antebellum property, complete with its own backyard. This was one of the first, if not the first, builds in the entire world. The monks. Beneath the church lies a dedicated community of librarian villagers. They commune together in their underground chambers and never leave the grounds. What exactly they practice is unknown at this time. Player memorials. Across Gupmad, keen eyes will denote ornate structures dedicated to fallen players. Each was constructed shortly after their demise and serve as tombstones. Butcher. The Butcher is known as the most likable villager in the town. He was integral to the survival of all players in the early days of the world due to his trade of 1 emerald for 8 chicken. Without the Butcher, the world would be a much worse place. Tower Bridge. The Tower Bridge is one of the only ways into the town. It was constructed in such a way where boats could reasonably fit through the bottom. As a side effect, hostile mobs are unable to understand the geometry of the structure and do not invade the town, despite there being no security present. Divine Tower. The Divine Tower is a structure originally found in the game Elden Ring. It was constructed in Gupmad as a way to use up many stacks of mined stone gathered from the construction of other projects. The structure is divided into 3 main bodies, that being the Study Hall, the smaller tower, the bridge, and the Divine Tower itself. The Divine Tower exceeds heights well above the clouds, and is known for hosting the greatest views of Gupmad. The Grand Design. The Grand Design is the name given to Gupmad's planning board. This board wall contains every idea that eventually becomes a build found in the world. Not every idea brought to the board comes to fruition, however. Countless plans have been altered past the original concept or outright removed. It is located in the main home. Class divide. While villagers in the town are treated well, the area is known to have a high level of class divide. Some villagers live in dilapidated neighborhoods by the dock, while others get large manors all to themselves. Class divide can be found all across Gupmad. Multiple districts. In the same vein as the previous entry, the town also has very distinct districts with unique aesthetics. These areas are colloquially known as the Original Village, the Rich Area, the Roman Expansion, and the Great Plains Expansion. Gupmad Graveyard. The graveyard is the home of any and all named villagers who have passed away. The graveyard is built on unstable land, so it must use crypts to commemorate the dead, similar to the city of New Orleans. Thankfully, only 3 villagers have met their end in the world. Metropole. The Metropole is a currently incomplete project inspired by the works of French architect Etienne Louis Boulle. The concept is to construct a replica of Boulle's project for a metropole on top of the 300 by 300 stone platform that has already been constructed. It is unknown when the building will be complete. Hallway. The hallway is a large corridor that stretches on for 600 blocks. It features an ornate wall pattern and tall ceilings throughout. It was built with the purpose of funding the stone needed for the previously mentioned metropole. Madeki Books. The Madeki books are a trilogy of first-person recounts made by Captain Madeki. The first book, titled Epimeno Recount, follows his delusions aboard his ship, the Epimeno. The other books follow the story of his time captaining the steamboat, the Belle of Black Bay, and his quest to solve a murder mystery. If you'd like to know more, I've read out these books on this channel. You can listen to them now. World Lore. The world of Gupmad does have an overarching story. It revolves around the remnants of the tree and a man named Angus the Anguished, and the religion built around his ethos. More of this story will be revealed as relevant entries appear on the iceberg. Lengthy Catacombs. Beneath the streets of the city and hills of the plains lie the catacombs. This area hosts many of Gupmad's most prolific secrets in its seemingly endless lengths of tunnel. We can only speculate what facilitated the need for so much burial space, as its ancient history to us now. Was hardcore. When Gupmad was originally created, players did not have the luxury of revival, as the world was made in hardcore mode. Once the world had reached 3,000 days of existence, dead players were brought back and allowed to die again. This memorial commemorates the era of hardcore mode. Bible 2. Not to be confused with the Book of Mormon, the Bible 2 was written by brave adventurer Classy Plains during his journey of personal exile. The tale recounts his journey through the desert and troubles with his villager Gilly, and the ultimate goal to find himself. Bassett Story. Inside of this Bassett furniture outlet lies the tragic tale of dilapidation and a minimum wage employee's attempt to save his customers from a threat he does not understand. The story goes that the employee was sealed in by plant life and rising water. He tried to save the people, who were also trapped inside, but they ultimately died of starvation. Golden Field of Wheat. The Golden Field of Wheat is a large area comprised of fully grown wheat plants. Its serene quality means you may find yourself wandering across it. You may even be blown away by its appearance. Grand Cloister. The Grand Cloister is another build inspired by Elden Ring. This area is one of the largest sections of the catacombs and was the primary source of stone for the Divine Tower. At the end of the Grand Cloister lies the hallway. Evil Horseman Attacks. In this area of the town, a zombie horseman somehow managed to spawn in and attacked several unnamed villagers, turning them into zombies. It also managed to turn Dat Aoni, a beloved villager, into a zombie who was unfortunately unable to be cured. They are now buried at the Gupmad graveyard. Angus the Anguished. Angus the Anguish was a man who lived many, many years ago in a faraway desert city. His story tells of his downfall, from a king's accountant to a man exiled to wander the desert. They say he was so full of anguish that day, he erupted into tears and brought immense life to the area, making the large tree that once stood tall in the middle of the village. Ancient warfare. The world of Gupmad shows some evidence of conflict in its past, the most obvious of which are the trenches outside of the walls with their no man's land between them. Although there is little evidence for it, it is believed this altercation may have left the tree in its current state, a shell of its former self. Bridge dwellers. This bridge, located in the rich area, may seem ordinary at first glance, but underneath it holds an installation of bleak happenings. Not much is known about its creation, but we do know it was constructed with mostly stolen materials and hatred in mind. Yevasek Squire. Yevasek Squire is a wild dog tamed inside of the savannah. He's best known for the insane screams he commonly makes and his love for Squire Chow. Slimes are evil. The slimes of Gupmad are true beings of malevolence. They plague the underground areas and have even killed a player. They are not to be trusted. Assassins. Deep underground, inside of the catacombs, behind a secure door, lie a secretive order of assassins. They're known to carry out intricate murders according to the request of their clients. Not much else is known about them. Sweet stock. Sweet stock is an exotic plant known for its incredibly potent sugar and extremely deadly effects. It's said that if you were to be pierced by its sharp stalks, its sap would begin converting your blood into pure glucose. After a grueling few weeks, the victim will die, and in the coming days, the fermenting body will explode, similarly to a distillery. This fate can be avoided if the afflicted limb is amputated, however. Church of the Bud. The Church of the Bud is a replica of a structure of the same name from Elden Ring's Shadow of the Erdtree DLC. It's located further away from the village, being found inside of the neighboring savannah. It houses many books in the previously mentioned Yevasek Squire. Too much Elden Ring. By now you will have noticed the sheer amount of structures inspired by Elden Ring. Why so many builds have been copies of Elden Ring's buildings is mostly coincidental, but can also be owed to the impressive architecture of the game itself. Ugly Statue. This statue was created as a form of memorial for a fallen player who was shot by a skeleton while traversing another fortress. Many have said that this statue is unsightly and it does not properly respect the person it memorializes. Arbor Lectorum. Lectorum was a man who lived long ago. He was one of the Tree Readers, an order committed to understanding life through the wisdom of the great tree while it was still standing. He wrote many books, covering his personal grievances with the direction of the world and the ways of the Tree Readers. Etienne Louis Boulay. I previously mentioned Boulay as the real-life designer of the Metropole, but he was much more than that. Boulay was born in Paris on February 12th of 1728. He maintained work as an architect, designing several private homes and even a hotel, which is his only surviving work. The perhaps more interesting side of Boulay are his ideas for extremely grandiose neoclassical architecture, such as the project for a metropole, the cenotaph for Sir Isaac Newton, and several others. Skittle Scap Sojourner. Inside of the sewers, beneath the rich area, lies a lone squid by the name of Skittle Scap Sojourner. It is unknown how he got to where he is, or if he's happy being there. Blushy Salt Home. A mysterious residence lies buried beneath the dilapidated parking garage. A man only known as Blushy Salt made his occupants beneath the structure some time ago and has not been seen since. Madhouse. This home may seem normal, even generic, at first glance, but upon entry, you realize the truth behind its walls. Upon entry, you will get lost in a labyrinth of strange and unsightly rooms. They twist between each other in its strange architecture. The area has driven many mad as they attempt to navigate its innards. It's always being added to and improved upon. Callywalk. Callywalk was the desert city that Angus the Anguished originally resided in. He lived the life of a noble, as he was the king's accountant. Eventually, however, he would be exiled from the city. Mini SSR is stuck. The Mini SSR is a large, square-shaped boat located near to the statue. Upon closer inspection, you can see that the vessel is trapped in its current waters by the bridge connected to the Divine Study Hall and several bridges in the town itself. It is unknown how the boat managed to get to the position it is currently in, but it cannot get out. Skinny Horse. One of Gupmad's strangest natural oddities is this white horse. He possesses the ability to fit through one block width areas and even escape from a traditional horse hole, as seen here. Although attempts have been made to replicate the phenomenon, none have been successful. He is the only one of his kind. Accidental racism. Regrettably, the world of Gupmad has some structures that some have thought to be racist, the most notable of which is the main home due to its antebellum architecture associated with plantations. This home was not made from a place of hate, however. It was mainly inspired by the Braithwaite Manor from Red Dead Redemption 2. Other builds have been circumstantially linked to prejudice, but I assure you, none of it was intentional. Magna Walk. This entry refers to a cow who lives inside of the madhouse. His enclosure includes an acacia sapling and a piece of ancient debris to play with. The School. Inside of the catacombs lies a large structure resembling a place of education. It has windows, but they lead to nothing. It's also the home to Miss Grick. Serpent and the Moon. The Serpent and the Moon are statues found within the Church of the Bud. I do not fully understand the meaning behind them, but I have gathered that they are important to the Church's beliefs. Beyond that, I unfortunately cannot provide any meaningful insight. Gupmad is an acronym. Not many people know about this, but the name Gupmad is an acronym. What it really stands for is Geeked Up Playing Minecraft All Day. Ely. Ely is a cartographer villager who is imprisoned in the home of the bridge dwellers. If you remember from the entry covering the Bible 2, this is in fact the same Gilly. Desert Church. Located far away from the town in the deserts nearby the Divine Tower, lies a strange church made of pale oak and copper. Its purpose, age, and significance are unknown at this time. Hoodlum. Inside of the madhouse lives a cat named Hoodlum of the Misfortune. This cat was found inside of the Nether and managed to survive a creeper explosion before moving into the madhouse, where he sits to this day. Kurtmine. Kurtmine is a location mentioned at the start of Medeki's book, Epimeno Recount. In the book, he describes the town's aroma, which is that of fish mixed with sediment. Not much else is known about Kurtmine. Cuckoo Clock. While traversing the catacombs, you may hear the faint noise of a repetitive chirp. The sound has previously driven someone, maybe the original creators of the catacombs, to tunnel towards it, which led them to this. Nightmare. This home, located within the Great Plains expansion, holds a dark secret. If you were to get a night's rest in the second floor bedroom, you will awaken a cold sweat hiding under the end table due to a terrible nightmare. What exactly causes this effect is unknown, but it may be relevant to mention the home is situated directly next to the graveyard. Gupmad Elite. Truthfully, I could not find any relevant information on this entry. Potentially, the person that sent me this iceberg may be a member of the Gupmad Elite, but I don't think I'm in the know for this particular entry. Graduation Party. I believe this refers to a room inside of the madhouse filled with cats and dogs named after random people. I'm unsure as to the meaning of the room or who the people are, but it's the only party present in Gupmad. Wealthy Cannibals. Beneath this industrial gold farm resides a group of insane cannibalistic villagers willing to buy rotten flesh for cheap prices. They've been locked away for the protection of the rest of Gupmad's villagers. Where they get their income is a great mystery among all. Magic is real. Magic in the world of Gupmad goes far beyond enchantments and potions. This book is a brief example of the scope of magical abilities possible in Gupmad. Two guys with a big saw. By now, you may be wondering what exactly caused the tree to fall. One rumor brought upon by many is that the tree was destroyed by two giants with a large hacksaw. There's no physical evidence of a big saw, and the implication of giants existing in the world is not fully understood at this time. We have now reached the final section of the Gupmad Iceberg. There are no nitwits. In the town, you will find many different types of villagers, but one you will never encounter is the nitwit. Their kind is hastily removed from the community by any means necessary. The only evidence of their people is the tomb of the unknown nitwit. Abahimu Omushana. Inside of the garden lies the Abahimu Omushana, a rare and dangerous plant. It holds the unique ability to alter reality when it is in danger or not properly cared for. It has been known to bring sickness to villages, flooding to towns, and general misfortune to whoever improperly contains it. Interestingly, Angus the Anguished is documented to have had a similar plant on his office desk. a gift he received not long before the events of his downfall. Man in painting. In many locations across the world, you can find this painting of a man with a cane. He is found in many unsettling locations, such as the madhouse and the underground school. It is unclear who exactly he is, but it is speculated that he is extremely important to the world. Villager karma. From early on in the world's conception, a belief system known as villager karma was created. The idea was that if players were to commit malicious acts against the villagers, the actions would reflect back onto them, leading to misfortune and inevitably death. As the world was hardcore, the players made it a point to treat villagers well in hopes of good fortune. Jojo was a pioneer. Jojo is the name of the original creator of many rooms in the madhouse, and the inspiration for the design style of its other locations. He created this room and the Magna Cal room. He also inspired the chest room and some parts of almost every other room in the madhouse. Living Mesa. It was very hard to find any relevant information on this entry. The only nearby mesa is this one, located down the river. If it were to be alive, it may not be too pleased about the exploitation of its resources. Flesh vat. On top of the lava factory lies several vats of molten lava. However, one of the vats is actually full of meat and is made of flesh. It is unclear how or why this vat is the way it is, but it unsettles many who notice it. Town has no name. Over the course of this video, you may have noticed I never called the town by any name. This is because it simply doesn't have one, at least to our knowledge. Interestingly, record of the town's name seems to be forgotten in literature. This effect may be a coincidence or possibly something supernatural. Big Tree was a person. We've already talked about how Angus is responsible for the fertile lands found in Gupmad and the large tree in the center of town. But one theory suggests the tree was more than that. The proposition is that Angus himself became the tree through his anguished spirit, where he stood tall for many years before once again being destroyed as he was in life. Ultimately, we can only speculate if this concept holds any merit. Well, this now concludes the breakdown of the Gupmad Iceberg. I hope to have satisfied your curiosity of the intricacies of Gupmad and its deep secrets. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.